go.
We need a camera crew. Somebody get you loose. I'm about to make you yell. Something was wrong with you. Undo your ponytail. Let all that fall down.
Hi, everybody. Come on in. You know I'm sharing the live that we're live. Don't forget to do the same. Let's see here. Oh, write a post. Let's see. Hi, everybody. Let's see. Okay, I just shared it. Okay, we're going to get started. If you have not shared it already, please do so. We have a really, really juicy conversation tonight, bombversation tonight, and I'm so excited to have it. And so sit back and get ready, get your questions together if you've got any, because we're gonna really, really, really chat. Are you guys ready? I'm so ready. Let's go. Okay, you guys, we're ready. We're here. We're ready to get started. And have tonight's topic. Tonight's topic is pillow talk, y'all. We are going to be talking about there was a question given, how to keep things interesting. Okay, so like, how do you keep things going and keep it spicy, right? So we want to chit chat tonight, and I have a very special guest. We've been on a roll with like having somebody on here with us and stuff to chit chat with us each week. That's been great. Thank you guys so much. Um, so we're gonna do that. But before we get started, I just want to say that I am well aware that you have to have a partner, you have to have somebody to do these things with. I get it. I do not want to like get all into, well, is you married or what this. I want to get into that because we already know that like you gotta have a partner. And however you have a partner is up to you. Not everybody wants to be married. Some people just like want, lifelong partners, so we're not going to get into that. We already know that you need somebody to, do these things with. Whoever they are to you is that's your business, because it's your business. We're not going to even get into it. We're going to jump straight into when you already have said partner, how to keep it interesting. Okay. So without further ado, um, we'll catch the replay. No worries. Green earrings. Hello. Aren't these everything? Thank you. Okay, so we're going to get right into it. I'm going to bring on my very special guest, the relationship guru, Miss Davena. I know Davena from, I'm going to read this, but I know her going way back. Okay, so this is not a formal thing for me, but I'm just going to read a few little things that she gave. So for many years, she worked as a family life director and women's ministry director, and various topics were often discussed, including how to improve home and workplace relationships. Davina is known for her flower child style. She was born in St. Louis, Missouri, but is inspired um, by family's West Coast roots, her family's West Coast roots. She is passionate about matters of the heart. Okay. So without further ado, we are going to bring Davina on so we can jump right into these questions that we may have. If you have questions in the comments, let's get to it. Okay. All right. Welcome, Davina. Hey.
Hey.
How are you? You look so beautiful, girl.
Thank you. Same to you. You are the
Thank
queen,
you.
mom. You are the
Ooh.
queen, mom.
Thank you so much. And I just want y'all to know my shirt is sheer. This is not a nipple. Okay, I didn't
Oh,
come ready in that way. This is just the other part of my, because people love to. So let me just make that clear. It's no nipples. Okay. So that's that. Okay. So tonight, what are we talking about? We're talking about Keeping it interesting in sex. Can we say sex on Facebook?
You can say sex or bedroom or intimacy for sure.
Intimacy, how to keep things
Yeah.
spicy in the bedroom. The question had mentioned, aside from lingerie, you're like, what other things can we do to keep it spicy? And in my post somewhere, I said something about like, surely intimacy, I'm gonna say, it's not like relationships, long-term relationships and marriage. Surely this is not where this comes to die, right? So it should, when you think about this stuff, you think about being with somebody for a very long time. You don't think about jumping partner to partner to partner to keep it interesting. You got to be with these people. So how do you keep it going? Like, how do we keep it going? Now, if we could define sex, can we define sex? Like, what is it? I'm sure everybody, I mean, that word, like how can we define it, first of all?
It's
Wait a
the
minute. Oh,
what?
sorry. Go ahead.
Oh,
I was reading this.
oh, okay. All right. I think I would define sex as not so much as the dictionary would. It's more medical
Mm-hmm.
for me. So it's just really,
Oh,
yeah. I mean, because sex is the thing that you do to get to where you want to go. It's kind of
okay.
it's a medium, so to
Okay.
speak. However, that's not what I want to stay on task with.
Okay. Okay.
Candace, I can't with you. You're gonna make me laugh. All right.
Sorry.
So go back to defining sex, and you are basically are an exchange. Some people define sex as procreation,
Okay.
part of for making children only, and
Mm-hmm.
other people define sex as with the emotions in it, the emotions of your heart and your soul,
Yeah.
because you can literally do the physical act and not be mentally or emotionally connected.
Connected. And that's true. And I know with that, when you're not mentally and physically connected, um, you can't really be into
Yeah.
it or enjoy it in the way that you need to. So I jump right into questions, or did you
You can jump
have?
right into questions, but I was going to say, just to kind of put an end cap on defining sex,
Yeah.
um, it can also be the other way around, where you are emotionally attached and no sex. And because you fantasize about people, sometimes people define that as sex.
That
So,
is that is so good. That is so good, because just having a conversation with somebody and how you have the conversation and the intent behind it and the way y'all having the conversation is sex. That's sex
yeah,
too. Did y'all
yes.
know? Am I-
And the texting, sexing.
Sexting, that's sex. All of that
There
is sex.
it
Hmm.
is, yes, because you're trying to pleasure each other, either it's mentally or physically.
Right.
So there are people who have Zoom accounts where it goes on in Zoom accounts, where you get, yourself aroused, I'll get myself aroused, and we'll Zoom and have sex.
Zoom sex. I didn't know they was getting on Zoom. I didn't know that. Did you guys know that? I didn't know that we were having that. I didn't know. I didn't know that that was happening. Now I know. I guess I don't know why I'm shocked. I don't know
Duo,
why I'm
any of
shocked.
those, any,
Yeah,
yeah, that
they're
was,
having Zoom sex.
yeah.
Lord, Lord. Okay.
And
Well,
calling it sex, whether you physically connect or not, but people are calling it sex.
yeah. And then with the way, like, it feels like they're trying to take stuff so technology, and you're in like this
Yeah.
technical like reality or something. Like
Mhm,
you're gonna be
mhm.
probably having a lot more of that happening anyway. Oh, that's so sad. Um, let's see. Somebody said, "Wow," and then someone is saying, "Zoom, zoom." What does it say? Well, zoom,
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 zoom, zoom,
zoom, baby.
baby.
um. Okay, so I'm gonna ask a question. So the
Yes, ma'am.
first question, we're just jumping right into this because we want to
Mhm.
talk about how to keep it interesting. If you have any questions, I'm not sure what I was doing. That. If you have any questions about like how to keep it interesting that you have, please let us know. Go ahead and put it in here. Um, Somebody says sex is whatever makes you feel good. So that's sex.
Like Zoom.
Like Zoom. So I want to ask this question. So this is a question.
Mhm.
So in order, one of the things about keeping it interesting is feeling secure about it, right? So like if you feel insecure, maybe if it's about your body, if it's about um positions or anything like that, if you feel any bit of insecurity, then it's kind of hard um to engage. So like a good question is, how do you break free from and be free and feel more secure? Like how do you feel more secure to just kind of to be able to let yourself go?
The security is going to come from here.
Mhm.
So, having said that, you are as confident as you feel in your skin.
Mhm.
So, in working on your own self confidence will help you to also be more comfortable in the bedroom, in the
Mhm.
sex department, and then healing from any scars, internal scars,
Mhm.
things that we have concerns about, things
Right.
that we are uncomfortable about. Sometimes things among sex are not discussed, and then all of a sudden that person springs it on you and tries it, and yeah, that can traumatize you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that brings me back to kind of the way that I had everything set up. Like, I guess there was a point to it all. Like, um, speaking about trauma before and healing and all that other stuff brings me to this, because until you do that, it's true. Until you heal whatever emotional scars, until you heal um whatever you have internally or whatever it is that you're going through, it's hard to open up and have the best in sex life or keeping it
Mhm.
interesting and that kind of thing. So this is why, leading up to that is why we talked about this at first. So that's
Yeah.
one way, like feeling secure. You're gonna have to. It's like it's a you thing. It's something that you're gonna have to work on, and so that you're not, putting it off on somebody else, and then
Mhm.
your partner is confused, like, I don't know what to do for you. I don't know sometimes you have to, go within yourself and fix those things that you feel not so secure about, so that you can be a little bit more open, is what I
Yeah.
think we're saying. Someone is saying, I think being with one person is what drives security. This is true. This is why so many people suffer from security issues. I think that's true, because when
Mhm.
you're with somebody, that one person, you're bound to get comfortable. You'll be
Yeah.
comfortable with them.
And you
You were gonna say
establish a
something.
certain amount of trust
Mhm.
along with that. So you have to that trust also makes you feel secure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This is good. Security. We need some of that. We need to feel secure and you're with somebody.
Yeah.
Even I think I was talking about this with somebody else, but just how we're raised too. Like the differences with like men, so many different ways we're raised, but the specific thing that I want to talk about is just like how a lot of times men are raised to, like, you can't be emotional, to be detached from their feelings. You boys don't cry, they don't feel a way, but then we're raised emotional nurturers to feel a certain way. And so sometimes when you have that disconnect, even, I think it's hard to have the communication to say, well, I need this to feel comfortable and secure. And he kind of looking like, I don't know what you mean, because I'm not attached to my feelings in that way, so I don't know. So that's something else to consider, being able
Yeah.
to talk and communicate about what it is that you need, and like those barriers between, with the conversation can oftentimes be why you're not able to be secure
Yeah.
in that. So that's something we gotta, you may have to
Yeah,
work
we
through
do have to
too.
and
Yeah.
we have to find out if some of those generational things that you were
Hmm.
taught about sex, if it's true for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because a lot of our grandparents and great grandparents were raped. So they bring forth that attitude that sex can be both traumatizing
Hmm.
and secure, because
Hmm.
if you're raped, then you got to carry that forward to the
Right.
next generation, and you pass along some of those things
Hmm.
that you would, but you have to be willing to break that cycle.
Absolutely. And, even speaking about the things that how you're raised. So, like, so funny story, like, my mom didn't really talk to us about birds and bees. Like, she kind of gave it to us straight on, like, this is how it's going to be. And my mom just basically flat out told us, you gonna let that, like, how did my mama say it? She was like, okay, you gonna let them boys talk you, sweet talk you. They gonna talk you to it, get you in the bed. He gonna stick you with his thing, and it's gonna hurt. Like, that's how my mama said. That's
If
how
I didn't
Queen
know
said
your mother,
it.
but I do know your mother. So yes, I agree.
She said that. You agree with that? Like, that's how you would have said
No,
it?
no,
Like,
I agree that that is your
that's what, oh, that's
invitation
my
to
mom.
your mother.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's what she told me. So then, then you have that, instead of just saying, like, your first time may be a little uncomfortable. Like, I don't know how you're supposed to say it, but like, your first time, it may be uncomfortable or whatever, whatever. So then you go into it already just not getting ready to have a good first time experience, because you're all tense. You can't relax because it's like, I know this is supposed to hurt. So
yeah,
that was just a funny story to talk about. Like, what your mom and them tell you.
I have them too. I remember I may have been in middle school.
Hmm.
And it was my mom who told me, don't even look at it. Don't hold it. Don't look at it, because if you get sperm on your hand or anywhere on your skin, you would be pregnant. I thought that for about a
What?
whole year. I'm like,
See?
that don't sound right. So I,
See, and it just be that kind of stuff. Like, why do you don't just tell me, set me up for success? Like, because when you get into the world and you have to learn this kind of stuff from just
yeah,
everybody else, or just, your first time or whatever, it's like, you need to be a little bit more prepared, instead of going into it all afraid about it. Because guess what, this is a beautiful thing, and I think it's just their way of trying to keep us from doing it. But it's gonna happen. We're gonna do it. So just have the conversation and be done with it, and have it the right way. If there's a
yes.
right way to have it. Is there a right way to have the sex conversation with your kid?
I feel like that there is. I feel like I did a decent job having that conversation with my own children. Um,
What did you say to them?
we used penis and vagina.
Okay.
We used body parts. And then we had books. I had illustrations. Um, you, I can say this, but I did teach them how to put on a condom with a
Mm-hmm.
cucumber. So, yeah,
Uh-huh.
all of that was important for me to just make it visual. I had charts and books, and so we just talked about it a lot, and we talked about it like before things would happen. So this is what you may be able to expect.
This is what
Yeah.
you're gonna expect.
It's
Yeah.
like when women get their menstrual cycle, you don't know exactly when it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Keep the conversation going so that when it does happen, they're prepared.
Exactly. Okay. So I want to read this one. My mom didn't either. All she mentioned was AIDS. And all I can think of after that was associating sex with death. See, we go into it and your brain can't be clear. You can't really, like, just open up
Yes.
and be present and all of that, because you're thinking about all these million things that is kind of true, but it's not the full truth. And you just can't even. So I think that's part of it too. Letting go
Mhm. Of those thoughts.
all these thoughts that you've been given about it being disgusting or nasty or all this stuff, because you can't really open up if that's how you feel about it. Um, at what age should you talk to your children about sex?
Where when they start to kind of show interest a little bit, in either the same sex or opposite sex,
Mm-hmm.
when they start to ask questions about their body, um, when they may have an erection in the morning, little
Mm-hmm.
boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then little girls usually lead with their emotions. So if it's somebody that they like, they may be all giddy. You may
Uh-huh.
notice them whispering.
Mm-hmm.
Those are usually pretty good indicators that some emotions are going on. And after emotions comes when your
All
heart
of
is
that.
attached. Yeah, all of that. When
Yeah.
you get your heart attached, then
Mm-hmm.
you're more likely to give other things away.
Because Taylor, my little girl is 5, and she's already asking certain questions that I'm
Mhm.
looking like, why do you even care? Like, you know, but I plan to be completely and totally open and just honest about what everything is and how everything works. And I'm just going, that's what I plan to do. So this is good. So we talked about being secure, y'all. So we need to be secure, you know, kind of clear whatever thoughts you've had about it in your head, whatever. We need to get secure. We need to be okay with this. We need to be okay.
I'm
Go
going
ahead.
to say a little bit about this too, because I know it's either going to come up, but one thing that could help get you more comfortable is touching yourself.
Oh, we was gonna get to that. Okay. Because that was
There's
the next, that was literally the next
yes.
question.
So there, I talk to and have conversations with, and with a lot of women who don't know how to feel comfortable within their own bodies, meaning touching themselves.
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
you cannot tell somebody else where to touch you if you don't know.
If you don't know, how do
If you
you
don't know,
tell
yeah,
them?
yeah. You How do you tell them? So you may have to do a little exploration to help you get a little more comfortable too. Whether
See,
that's with toys or whatever you decide, it's good to know so you can tell that significant other where you want to be touched.
so okay, so this is all about touching yourself. So I want to know. So you don't feel, and I guess it's all about what people believe and that kind of thing. But then I think even at some point, maybe like growing up, if you grew up in church, they kind of make you feel like it's wrong, like you shouldn't. But I feel, and what I'm saying here today is I feel that you absolutely should, because like we just said, like how could you know
Yeah.
what you like or what you don't like, or you know that, or how to tell people, you know, that sort of thing. So what I wanted to know specifically, you know, because you said you can just, you know, I guess use your hands or use toys, etc. Is does it come to a point though, like like doing it too much, and is it possibly possible to desensitize yourself using toys all the time, like and then when it comes to you actually like actual intercourse, like does this, you know, is it possible to be done? I want to talk real regular right now. But
Do
I'm
it. Do it.
because what I want to say is it possible for you to be done zapped yourself a little too much, sis? Like, listen, sister girl is like dang near burnt off. Like you done did a little too much, and now when it comes down to it, you need this, like you need some with a motor in it because you've done too. Like, is that possible or no to
I'm gonna,
do?
I'm gonna answer that
Sorry.
in a couple of different ways because that was a whole lot. There was a whole lot of questions
Zapped out. The poor
firing at
thing
me.
is done. Okay. Sorry.
First of all, my friend Andrea, who
Okay.
is definitely knows her business when it comes to this, but
Hmm.
we do different events together
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So what you can medically do with
Hmm.
toys is tear your tissue down there. So if you're not using lube, even with if you have a partner or you have a toy,
See.
you still want to use lube
Wait, you okay? Let me write that question down. Go ahead, so I don't forget. I'm gonna write it down.
because you can tear the inside nerves of the vaginal wall, the outside, the hymen. All of those are nerves and tissue.
Mm-hmm.
And once they tear, even having, children vaginally, once they tear a little bit, they don't always go back. They don't always heal in the same way. So
Mm.
sometimes you have maybe with men having different erections. Let me say it this way: with men having different erections,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes when you are having intercourse, it may feel a different way at different times, even though it's the same person. because
So you're saying one man can
yes,
have, oh,
no,
okay.
I'm saying one man or one toy can tear that tissue around there
Got it.
to where it doesn't go back right away. And it's usually with rough sex or overusage of the toys without lube.
Y'all in here? Somebody said, oh, get you some lube, sis.
Get you some lube.
Because we're doing things the wrong way.
Yeah.
So we definitely want to explore ourselves. Okay, this is
Yes.
what I'm hearing. We definitely want to explore ourselves so that we know ourselves and so that we can kind of get comfortable. So this is going to keep things so, and I want to make sure that we're making it clear that, this is how we're going to keep things interesting, right? So only way that you can keep it one way to keep it interesting is knowing yourself. How can you know yourself, and how can you tell them what it is that you like or whatever, and blah 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 blah, without you knowing first? And it sounds like you're gonna. So why do you need lube though with men, with the, you know what I'm saying? I get what you're saying with toys and stuff, because maybe that's rubber or whatever, but why do you need you?
Because there are men who don't produce semen, which is the lube that's supposed to lube your vagina. And then some women don't get moist either. They have really vaginal, a dry vagina. And so if you're in a hurry and you're trying to force
have
it
a
in
quickie,
there, yeah, or
Mhm.
quickly, or if you're not moist enough,
Mhm.
when you go in there, hard, it can tear some tissue
Yeah.
around that area too. And then you may have even experienced a little bit like like a little chafeness or soreness the next day. And then you're like, okay, well, we need some lube.
We need lube, y'all. Listen, get you some lube. If everybody's not producing the way that they need, you're gonna need some lube. How can you keep it interesting if every time you going in there ripping yourself apart every single
Yes.
time, and you can't be embarrassed about talking about what it is that you need? Like, okay, so say sometime, let's keep it in the drawer just in case. Let's keep it in the drawer just in case somebody is not producing at the moment. You're gonna need that because you're not gonna want to do it. Okay, somebody says, after having my daughter, I seem to have lost interest. What should I do?
It depends on a lot of things. So
Mm-hmm.
you might definitely want to talk to your doctor about that. So that's something that's super important to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it could be anything. There's so much that goes on when you have a baby. Your hormones shift, your
That's true.
chemical levels shift. One day, you're feeling good, and next day you're not. She didn't say how old her baby is.
How old is the baby? Can you type in there how old the baby is so we can know about how long roughly?
Yeah.
Um,
But anyway, yeah,
so it's possible to have overstimulation to where, like, maybe you're doing this so much, like so much self pleasure that
Mhm.
it's because that's my thing. Is it possible to be disconnected then now from when it's regular intercourse? Like you don't really feel,
You
like
asked
you.
that question and I didn't come back to it.
Okay,
Because
yeah.
that's when you were shooting all them questions at me.
Sorry.
That's okay. No problem. Okay, so if you really think about it, for most of us, I'm putting men and women in this pot. Sex starts here. It has to start in your mind and your heart and your emotions, even before you actually get to the physical touch of each other. So when you say like desensitized,
Mm-hmm.
are you thinking that it's totally those toys, those things are totally replacing another person
Mm-hmm.
or no?
See, that's what I don't. I see. That's the point. I don't want my goal. Like, and I'm sure this is the questions is not wanting to be, because the whole point is like you want a warm body. You want
Yes.
somebody, so you don't want to get so comfortable. And I mean, I get it if you're not in a relationship and you're not currently dating or whatever. So you kind of have to do what you have to do. But
Mhm.
I just, I think the question is like the fear of is it possible to be overstimulated with yourself, like just and to where a point where you're not, you can't really get back interested in your, I guess what you're saying is that's probably, I guess it's case by case, just everybody's
Yes,
different. Yeah.
everybody's different, but it, I guess it does not replace a warm body. So
No.
if you're not looking for that soul connection, that mental connection, then maybe, you don't mind having that situation for a long time and being overstimulated. But and some people, they feel like they don't ever want to be in a relationship. I just spoke with a lady not too long ago who told me, and she's in her 40s. She said, I'm never getting married and I'm never dating and I'm staying celibate the rest of my life.
Mm.
Because she had been hurt in so many relationships.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I do want to mention that
I was
she
just,
says that her daughter is a year old, because I know you asked how old.
yeah, she's still, maybe
Hormone.
still going through some hormonal changes. I agree with
Yep.
you 1000%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely speak with your doctor about that. See what's going on. Maybe if you're due for a physical, see what's going on with your blood work as well.
Mm. And I wanted to mention, because I'm having comment, like, questions coming in too, and I'm catching it this way,
Okay.
because we are both live in two different places, so I'm getting questions from other places.
I think I am. You shared it
Um,
with me.
yeah, and I'm also two places right now too. But one
Gotcha.
of them from the other spot is saying men with fingernails also could tear tissue. So y'all be
Yes.
check fingernails.
Good one.
And it says, and men. So, and then men who know also, if your partner is dry, like if your woman she doesn't produce very well, like lubrication or whatever, and if y'all don't have lube, they're saying spit will help. You can spit on spit on that thing and it'll be all right.
It is the same body fluid, so to speak.
So you can do that. Also,
Yeah.
the next question is, because we were talking about toys, they want to know, have you heard about that rose toy that kind of do a little sucking or something on you? How do you have any thoughts about this at all? Just if it's a preference,
Yeah,
right?
it's a
Okay.
preference. It is
Okay, so
it's
it's
a
okay.
preference. I don't
Because it's doing some sucking and pulling, I think, so it ain't going, I don't know, y'all.
I
Now they
don't
got all kind of stuff.
usually the most of the products that they have out now, because I have a sex therapist that I refer people to. So I've had to look at some of these things. Um it it doesn't that part of the sex toy is moving in circular motion around the vulva area. Where it
Uh-huh.
sucks is the clitoris.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what the rose is doing.
Yeah. So it wouldn't be technically tearing so
Oh,
much.
it's not tearing anything.
No, the
But
suction now. You asked me, you said I don't know all the suction and
girl, I don't know what they got. They
okay.
trying to make this
Look
stuff
it
be
up,
like,
Tan. Look
I'm
it
gonna
up.
look it up. I don't know, because I've seen the rose, but I don't know what all kind of things that they doing, that the things is doing out here. Get you some lube. Make sure, so however this thing's supposed to work, it can move smoothly. Okay. And if not, do a little spit shine. You'll be all right. Somebody said, so very true. No emotional connection at all. Will surely have Miss Kitty as sandy as the
Sandy as the desert.
yes. Get you some lube. Get you some lube and get a little bit of spit and keep moving.
And
Okay.
go, yeah, keep it moving. I was gonna say and go to work, but oh yeah, keep it moving.
Okay. So the next thing that I want to be able to ask is foreplay. We talk about foreplay because this is something else that'll keep it going, right? So, and I want to be clear, the whole that way that we're going through is that there has to be a connection, y'all. Like, you can't be disconnected through insecurities and whatever your partner's got. Like, there definitely has to be a connection. So we're clear about that. So through these connections,
Mhm.
is foreplay like a must? Do we need to do foreplay all the time? Do you always have to do it? Is it important? I want y'all opinions in the comments. Like, are you doing foreplay? This is something that I think personally will keep things interesting.
Yeah.
And what would you say is like foreplay, like examples of foreplay for anybody who may not know?
Um, you have so many examples of foreplay, and I feel like it's each has its own definition for a couple. So some people consider a sexy text as foreplay, or roses and getting you mentally prepared
Mm-hmm.
also comes into the role of foreplay.
Mm-hmm.
So,
These are some ideas, guys. Getting roses, sexy texts. This is gonna
oh, I
keep.
have a
Okay, go.
never mind.
What?
No, I'm gonna come back to it. I'm gonna come back to
Okay,
it.
make sure you don't forget.
Yes, I
Don't
will
forget.
not forget.
So these are,
I'm gonna drop some nuggets.
please, because we need ideas. We want to know how are we going to keep this interesting. And even, even though like we were speaking about before, with maybe there's some like hormonal things still going like after having kids, but these little nuggets may be some things that you can try if you are not, and if you have not,
Mhm.
to try to spice things up a little bit.
I'm gonna Let's jump into that.
Please, let's jump into it.
Yes, let's jump into that because that may take a lot of questions. It may have a lot of questions after I say what I'm gonna say.
Okay, let's go.
For foreplay is defined whatever it is that gets you to the next level of where you want to be in terms of either sex, oral, whatever you decide to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so having said that, things to keep it spicy. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
people consider bondage as foreplay, um,
Mm-hmm.
straps, role playing,
I was gonna
whips,
say role
all
playing.
of that is considered
Mm-hmm.
foreplay for some people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you have a serious talk with your partner about some of their fantasies and some of the things that you like to do, that they
Mm-hmm.
would like to do, and some of the things that you would like to do, one suggestion that you could have fun with is making like a menu out of it. And maybe one night a month,
Mm-hmm.
decide to do his fantasy, or one night a month, he decides to do your fantasy.
Okay. This is good. This is
Yeah.
good. Or y'all got some wig. Y'all, I had some wigs. I meant to put my wigs on right now and change them. But that don't mean I'm, because I have never dressed. I was literally just talking to my sister about this. Like, do you dress up? I don't know. I don't dress up, but but that this is an option for somebody. You might can dress up, but you get you a little wig, change your wig, make them think you're somebody else. You're
Yeah.
somebody new. Somebody said when they were younger, they didn't think so as far as foreplay, not as much, but now it's very essential to
It
kind of
is.
get you moving. Somebody says bondage. Oh, y'all being real. Bondage. I have never tried any bonding or any of that sort of thing. But what I do want to say about it is, and maybe why I have never tried it myself, is because I think too with that comes in that connection and the comfortability and
Mhm.
the trusting.
Yeah.
Because you're not getting ready to tie me up and just have me looking, and there's no way I can get loose. Like, so that's what I'm thinking. So I think that to keep it interesting, you definitely, it sounds like you have to be open to each other's fantasies. And so it might be a little bit of that, you have to have conversations about what it'll be and how it'll go.
Mhm.
But you have to be open to it, and then you have to be I guess vulnerable and comfortable and feel secure about it so that you're able to do it. And I think this is the big takeaway so far I'm hearing is like feeling secure,
Yes.
and having a connection, and you know being comfortable with your partner to be able to do these things, to open up to these nuggets that we're dropping.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It is so much and so important about how you feel about yourself. Um,
Absolutely.
and, that part also opens up more things to try as you become more comfortable. You may be willing to try some things that he's more interested in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Ooh,
in terms
I'm
of,
losing my
uh-oh,
Mm-mm.
in, in terms of trying new things.
Right. And somebody is, oh, go ahead. No, you finish and I'll put the question up.
No, dude, put
Okay,
the
let me put the question up. It says, how can you warm a partner up to something they normally don't do? How can you warm them up?
So if I'm understanding that, I'm gonna kind of read in between the lines. This particular couple is not having sex at all. And
And or like or they could be saying that they are having sex, but something they don't normally do, like maybe oral sex. You might, you might have somebody who's not comfortable with that, or you might have somebody who's not comfortable with bondage, or you might have somebody who's not, like, how do you warm them up to being okay with doing some of the stuff that they have never done before?
oh, gotcha. Okay, so that is definitely going to take communication. You're going to have to talk through it. Just like you mentioned about bondage, how would that look for you? Would be looking is different as to how it would look for somebody else. So you may see it as this is not something I'm never going to do.
Uh-huh.
Somebody else may say, I'm open to it, put it on the menu, and we can give it a try.
We can give it a try. And I would like to say, like, we'll use bondage for an example. So say, they want you tied up, full regalia, and you like, you ain't getting ready to tie me up. And so maybe a way that you can ease into it is like, okay, well, maybe I'll let you put thigh restraints on me. Okay, like maybe I'm gonna keep my arms free
Or
because
one
case I
arm,
need to
one
be
leg.
one arm, one, like something needs to be free. Like maybe
Yeah,
you can have
that compromise.
compromise. Like,
Yes.
okay, let's start with the legs, but you're gonna leave my arms free. But you're not getting ready to tie me up fully. It could be something like that.
Yeah.
Or like even with oral sex, if they're not used, that's not something they do. Okay, well just kiss it a little bit.
Put some jelly on it.
Just kiss, just right here. Just all you gotta do is kiss it one time. Like, do something that eases you into it. Y'all, I'm being silly, but
No,
I'm
you
being
serious.
serious. This is serious. Like,
Yeah.
do little compromises. Okay,
Yeah.
somebody wants to know is please talk about how can you add yes, how can you add to the menu? We'll come back to that, but it says please talk about anal. People want to know about spicing up anal. What do you want to know specifically about anal though? Like, what do you have a question? Like, maybe give us a specific question, or if there's something you
If
want to
it,
say about it.
it-
But now I do want to say something about anal. That's not for me. It's not for me. But I do want to say that I have heard. I ain't gotta say none. I heard. Like let's just. I was. I was gonna say that they say that there's a specific pleasure from that way that you can kind of really access. So if you're thinking about it, then to each his own. But that's all I want to say. Am I right
Amen.
about that? Like,
Amen, sister.
am I right
Um,
about that?
it's up to each individual's desire and preference, and each individual couple. That is what that is definitely for. It's not for everybody, but there are people that really do enjoy anal sex.
There are people, and I think that's one of the
Mhm.
things that if that's what you're into, I think you definitely should be, and if your partner is not, you find a way to, maybe introduce it or talk to them about it. But another thing I want to say is
Lube works.
we back to the loop.
I'm just joking. I don't
And
know.
I don't know either, but I'm kind of almost feeling like spit ain't working back there. Spit ain't
Yes,
gonna be thick
it
enough.
dries quickly.
You
Spit
ain't gonna be able
dries
to spit
quickly.
shine from behind. Okay, you're not gonna be able to do that. So you might gonna need some lube if that's what you want to try. Okay. Um, but but I do want to say that also in this, try not to be frustrated with your partners if you're introducing things that maybe they're not comfortable with and they're not ready for. Try not to be frustrated with them because they may
Mhm.
not be there,
That's
and
true.
and maybe you could just put it on the menu. But it
Mhm.
might you might have to do some skipping around on the menu. Like, don't expect for your menu maybe to go in order. Like,
Mhm.
do some skipping around and some
Yeah,
compromising.
you can put, degrees of things that you want to try. Something that may be just as simple as, a full body massage. Some people consider that as part of foreplay. Whatever those things you would like, you can put them at different levels from a
Hmm.
simple massage to full bondage.
All of the above. Like that is true.
Yeah.
So what is it saying? I hit the wrong spot while I'm tied up. Oh no. You see what I'm saying? You can't get free. You can't get loose. And I need to be able to move about. Okay. I need to be able to move. Someone is saying, so some of these questions, sometimes it sounds, but we want you to keep them coming. Sometimes it sounds like a to each his own kind of question. So I'll just
Yeah.
present it as maybe you are giving tips to people. So one tip is that, married couples could have a try everything once attitude. So everybody who's listening, if
Mhm.
you're in your relationships, maybe you can have a try once attitude, especially if you're someone who is maybe a little bit closed off. You maybe don't want to try
Mhm.
different things, and you're probably the one usually never open to it. This tip is for you. Maybe a
Yeah.
try, at least try it. And if it's not working out, then you ain't got to never do it again. You don't ever have to do it again. What were
Yeah.
you going to say?
No, I was gonna say, even with the try it, you can set boundaries.
Uh-huh.
5 minutes if you want to do a time, maybe a location. It may be somebody's fantasy to have sex in public. So if
Uh-huh.
that, yeah, so I mean, you can put some boundaries on that in itself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you can be a little open to that. Let me see. Um Also, I wanted to know, I said let me look at my thing. So we talked about foreplay and it being good, and the conclusion that I got from that is absolutely do foreplay, because it'll help get factories warmed up and moving and producing and running. You don't need all that other kind of stuff. Foreplay kind of helps. And there's all
Yes.
different types. Because see, in my brain, this is good. I did never consider texting or flowers or different. I didn't really consider that. I'm thinking you got to be like touching and hot and heavy and kissing and licking and doing all that other kind of stuff. This is what I'm thinking. Although that is, but I'm just saying it's good for me to know. Like there's other forms of it, and you kind of tailor it to how it works for you. But that's another thing to get it spicy. If you just busting straight through the door like, hey girl, bend over or whatever, then it's like sometimes then maybe sex life is not so exciting because hey, like, can you tickle it a little bit, like get me going. So these are, if you're one to just like want to get straight to it, you might spice things up a little bit if you offer a massage, if you do those things. So we talked about the importance of knowing your partner. I've seen them, and we said this earlier, but
Knowing yourself and knowing your partner.
knowing yourself and knowing your partner, because we spoke about knowing ourselves, but even knowing your partner, because then after a while you've been with this person for so long, and if they're saying to you, what you like, what they like, and it's their spot or whatever. Like I saw a meme or something that said a man who really knows a woman's body is dangerous. Like this is, if he really knows you and he knows every little place, every little everything, then that keeps things spicy, because hey, like it's a home run every single time. Like every time you never disappoint. Like if you're going into it, I want to be able to say, if you're going into it aiming to please, and
Mhm.
over time you've learned your partner, and this is for men and women, alike. I don't feel like men, I want to be able to say to women, I don't feel like a man always has to be the one initiating. You know how you gonna spice up your life if you the one and he done came home and maybe you sitting somewhere with nothing on or something sexy on, and maybe it's the music, the mood is set, he can probably had a long day. Don't be the first thing you hit him with is maybe some drama or something. Like, I mean, handle your business if you got to, but I'm just saying, could you imagine, and you initiate, or if say you're just in the dating phase and you guys are not
Mhm.
living together, this is something out there, everybody ain't married, and you show up with nothing but a trench coat and some real sexy heels,
Mhm.
and you pull that thing, this is keeping things spicy.
Spicy. Mhm. Even taking pictures in lingerie and sending it to him during the day.
Sexy pictures during the
It's like,
day.
when you, and I'm going to use a church term here, but it's all good. When you go to church, it builds up to the sermon, right? It's the
Yes.
same thing, from the
Mm-hmm.
music to the talk to the
Yeah.
engagement before
Mm-hmm.
you actually get to the end. You get the
Special
whole,
music, praise
yeah,
and worship, all of
all of
that.
ambiance,
Mm-hmm.
all of that makes,
Yeah.
yes. Um, hygiene, don't forget that. Check your
Please
breath, check check your pants and your breath. Check them both.
check.
Armpit.
Do a little
Yeah,
check. Make sure you are keeping yourself
yeah.
up and keeping yourself clean, because ain't nothing gonna throw it off
So the mood
if that
off.
body is with a little gangster lean. Like, it's not right. Like, I'm trying to keep it, but
Yeah,
it's serious. Like, you got to keep yourself together, and and you got to be comfortable enough to be able to tell your partner, like, you might want to go do one more rinse. You got to go rinse it one more time because it wasn't right the last time. So you want to do that. But definitely, it shouldn't always have to be the man
yeah,
who is initiating. I'm
yeah.
just going to say that. Just women, take charge if you feel like things have been a little on
Mhm,
the, you know,
mhm,
wrong side, or not wrong, but like things are dry and it's not
mhm.
really initiated. We
Yes.
just said take some pictures.
Have a
Uh,
picnic in the bed. Do all kinds of.
yeah, maybe have a bath ran
Mhm,
already if that's
mhm.
something that he likes, or have something, ready to go, to say, or if he's just, doing whatever, watching TV, and you come stroll in, and jump on
Yeah.
him and pull his. I saw another meme that said I wish I had all of these to just screen share and show y'all. But I saw another one that said, men want to lay in the bed and act like they sleep and have some, they want to come up and pull their drawers off them too. They want to be able to do that. You know how
They
we lay in
do.
the bed and we act like we sleep, and they come up,
They
they
do.
trying to get, men want that too. They
Yeah,
want you
they
to
want
come
to. They want to
flip
feel
them
desired
over.
and wanted. They do.
Yeah, they do. And if they're asleep middle of the night, they want you to wake them up. They want to be woke up too out they sleep to say, like, I need you, and you jump their bones. Like, they want that. That's gonna
Yeah.
keep things. Let me tell you how that's gonna keep things exciting. You want that grass cut? Let me tell you, he gonna cut everybody's grass in the neighborhood. You wanted that trash taken out? He gonna drive.
Take everybody trash out
He
on the
gonna
block.
drive the trash truck for that week.
Oh my
He gonna go out there and he gonna drive it. He gonna get everybody trash. Y'all want some things done? Take initiative, ladies. If you feel like this ain't right, have a sit down and say, come here, let me talk to you.
God.
Okay, so lately you ain't been doing it right. Okay, so we need to do this until we get it. We need to do it, and it needs to be about me. You need to have that conversation, like, I'm not doing it if it's not going to be about me. And we need to explore. You need to be comfortable saying, okay, I like this when you do this. I like, when you did try that the last time. And even if it's the same thing sometimes over and over and over, and that's what you get, do that.
It's true.
Do whatever you need to do. No gangster lean. That is so funny. Let's see. What is a healthy number of times to have sex a week?
There is no number on that.
Because that, I,
There
I
is
do
no.
want to say that, but then how do you know the difference? Because with the number of times and things, the difference between, okay, you're just really into it and you really want to do it versus maybe an addiction. Because, like, I've read that as what it maybe meant, but also as, because they pressing me a whole lot. Like, they want to go 2 and 3 times a day, every day, all week. Like, how do you know, like, the difference between kind of normal and just, or like this? You might need to talk to somebody.
Yeah, I mean, if you are that close with a person, a lot of times sex is a stress reliever. Maybe they're under
Mm.
stress,
Mm-hmm.
something else going on that you don't know about. So again, having that conversation, like, what's going on? Because this is like number 10 for today.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on? Are you stressed at work? What's going on?
Having a conversation, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And I think it's healthy to do it as much as you can and feel like it. That's what I'm
yeah,
gonna say.
exactly.
As much as you can and as much as you feel like it. Um, I
Making
don't
making sure that it's comfortable and consensual both times.
both times and every time on both sides. Just make sure
Yes,
you're not like being pressured, or you're not doing the pressuring. I feel like as long as it's consensual and it's
comfortable.
comfortable,
Mhm.
then I feel like you're free to go, do as much as you want. But I also want to say, like, if maybe your partner isn't in the mood, then, don't give them a hard time, about not being in the mood and that
Yeah.
sort of thing. I think it's maybe not fair to be in a relationship and you don't never want to. Like that, I don't know how we address any of those things, but
That's
I'm
a whole
just
nother
saying
show.
that's a whole nother show. But I'm just saying, like, if that's you, then maybe you need to be some conversations had, and you need to kind of figure out maybe why you don't, and ain't no shame, but why maybe you don't want to, why you don't feel like it, like, sort of thing. Somebody says, no, I'm good with once or twice a day. I'm not complaining. And there you go.
There
There
you
you
go.
go.
Yeah.
And
It's usually I was gonna say more one person that always wants it more than the other one.
mhm, it would be a dope situation if y'all were just on the same
Yeah.
wave, and y'all was, that maybe sometimes it kind of syncs up that way and maybe not.
Maybe not.
um
Yeah.
So
No,
I just want to say, like, give this was so good. And I
no.
just want to kind of like say, just for anybody who may be just tuning in or whatever, that it's my takeaway from all of this and keeping things interesting is finding a way to feel secure about everything, whether it's your body, whether it's, not feeling, shameful or bashful. Because sometimes if you're trying to cover up and you're trying to hide, then you don't really kind of let yourself go in
Mhm.
a way that you kind of need to be all in and in the moment.
Yeah.
You need
Yeah.
to know yourself, be comfortable with touching yourself and exploring yourself so that you know how to tell somebody what you like and what they need to do for you to please you. And what else did we say? Know your partner. Know your partner. Do some foreplay.
Yes.
Women, you
Make
need
you a
to
menu, a bingo board.
make you a menu, a bingo board. Women,
Mhm.
be you need to initiate, show some initiative, because sometimes we just wait, like, okay, well, he came and he coming on to me, he do, because men, they'll do that. But we need to, that's what I'm gonna say, ladies, show some initiative. That's something we need to be doing. That'll spice it up real good. I'm
It
sure.
does spice
I'm
it.
sure it
It
will.
does spice it.
um and then somebody said this is very informative. I thought so. I think this was very informative. I think it was really good. And I think, of course, lingerie, that's a given.
Yeah.
Um, but definitely, I think the biggest part is like getting some little toy play, get your lube, because I didn't know you needed lube all the way around all the time. I didn't know. But get you some lube, get your little toy play. And I think one of the biggest things is touching yourself. And maybe one way to even like start doing it is maybe touch yourself in front of your partner. What say you?
Mhm.
Would that kind of help make you feel comfortable with
Mhm.
opening up and stuff? Like, maybe let them watch and you touch
Mhm.
yourself with them, if you could feel comfortable with doing that.
Yeah. Or
Mhm.
um most of the time when you cover up or you're not comfortable in your body is because you're judging some stretch marks or some things that you are uncomfortable with. Talk those out too with your partner.
Okay.
He might think your stretch marks are okay.
He might like them tiger stripes. He might like
So,
that.
but if he says, "Oh, I like that. I appreciate that," because then that's a turn on. That gives you more confidence. That helps you to feel
Hmm.
more comfortable because
Hmm.
you judging your own stretch marks.
Hmm. Because I know this is true, because I've, not always been the most secure. We all got our little things that we don't like, or that, we don't feel the best about. But one thing that I also learned is that men don't really care that much. Like the little stuff that we are trying to, maybe got some men, but for the most part, like the little stuff, they don't care nothing about. They not looking. Do you know they didn't come over here to sit around with you talking about no stretch
Mhm.
marks and others? They don't
Mhm.
care. They don't care. They pushing all of that little stuff. They pushing everything. Even if you ain't like, they may say, I don't like a bush. I don't want no bush. Child, bye. They gonna push that bush all out. They gonna, if they comb it out the way if they got to. They gonna push it right out the way to get to what they want. So that's something. Just rest assured and know that the things that you are feeling a little something. If your boobs hang low, okay, because mine wobble to the flow. You know, I might can tie them in a knot, maybe put them in a bow. But the bottom line is they don't care. They're
Yeah,
gonna
they
lift
don't.
them up and get to them. Okay,
Yeah,
so I just want to encourage y'all, especially women. Sometimes we feel a little way. Men might have some insecurities too
they
because they,
do.
they do a better job about, getting past it than
Mhm.
we do. But I promise you, ladies, one thing that I have learned, they don't care about none of that for real. Like they would like it and it's nice to do. And I'm definitely telling you to do it. Like keep yourself up if you can and, do all that kind of stuff. But they don't care nothing about that.
Yeah,
I
that's
promise.
it helps to give you more confidence if you know that he really doesn't care about my boobs sagging or the cellulite on the back of my
Mhm.
thighs or
Yeah,
whatever. We really do that to ourselves. But
we
that's
do
a
that
whole
to
nother
ourselves.
show too.
Yeah. Okay, one last question from my other chat, and then we're gonna let y'all go. Is there a comfortable way for a man to tell a woman that she is giving oral sex wrong, giving head wrong? Is there a comfortable
Yeah.
way?
Yeah, definitely have the conversation. You definitely say, hey, you could start the conversation with, I appreciate that you do that. However, um, can I show you a better way?
And then he would proceed to just
Yeah.
tell her how
And just
to.
kind of tell her, this is what I like. And when you move your head here or do this or whatever the case
Mhm.
may be, talk her
Whatever.
through it. Talk her
Talk
through
her
it.
through it. So
Yeah.
you're saying it's okay, like to be in the process and being talked through this stuff.
Yes.
This gonna keep it interesting for
Because let
sure.
me let me say this. When you go to a restaurant, especially if you do a drive up, you can order a number 6 and say, I want a number 6 with no pickles, hold the ice on this. It's the same thing. This is what I
Mm.
want. Do this one. And you say hold the pickles or light ice at a McDonald's
Hold the teeth.
hold the, whatever.
Hold the teeth. It's too much teeth action, ma'am. You're gonna have
Yes.
to.
Hold
Yeah, you should be
whatever
able to
you
tell
need.
them.
It's yeah.
hmm You
But
should be able to say,
But once you do that, you won't have to keep walking them through it
no, they'll
ever.
know. They'll
Mhm,
know for it's like riding a bike. Once you do it once, you'll know for
mhm.
sure.
Yes,
So yeah,
absolutely.
definitely. Look, somebody said, ain't nobody worrying about no stretch marks. Said it ain't nothing like a grown woman body. Let me tell you. And somebody said stretch marks are beautiful. They look like chocolate rainbow. Absolutely.
Oh,
Ain't that sweet?
it is. You have some good.
That's so
Thank
sweet.
you for the comments. Yeah, because our
Yeah,
bodies go through some stuff given
they go
life, right?
through. hmm They
It
go
really does.
through, and we go through a lot trying to tuck it and pull it in and lift it up for y'all. So y'all better appreciate it because we have a lot of time trying to look the way we looking for you. Okay, so that was so good. I hope we helped
Thank
out
you.
with some tips on how to keep things interesting. You kind of gotta open up and you got to have some real conversations and be okay with that. It's okay to say, listen, you're not doing this right. Or I would prefer if you, and maybe find a different way. But like, instead of saying you're not doing it right, just say, well, let's try this because I think I want to try something else. Or I want
Yeah.
to, I would like it if you do, maybe find different ways to say it. But
Say it in
definitely
a
you have to
loving.
talk it through. You have to
Yeah,
talk it
talk.
through.
I'm just gonna say to say it in a loving tone, not like you mad because they're
Like,
not.
why you gotta put my, yeah, you can't talk
Yes,
like that.
you
You
can't
can't
talk
talk
like
like that. Oh, that was whack. That's it. Like, you can't be doing that. You can't do that, y'all. Don't want to do that.
that. That is not the way to have that conversation.
Mm-mm. So this was good. Thank you guys so much for joining in. Women are God's gift,
Yes.
and you are to be appreciated. Thank you so much for knowing
Thank
that.
you.
Thank you for knowing that. Yo,
Mhm.
this was so much fun. I'm so glad. Thank you so much, Davina, the
You're welcome.
relationship guru. You have a website,
It
or
is.
drop all of your things where everybody can find you to get some more relationship knowledge and tips. And
Where do I do that? I am very confused. Put my info. You have my info. Put it
okay,
in there.
let
I'm
me
not
see.
person.
I don't know. Okay, what I'm
I
gonna
can
put?
tell you
What do
it's
you want
the
me to put?
relationshipguru.org.
Relay. Oh wait, I'm not in the comments. Okay, let me try this again, y'all. The sorry, y'all.
That's okay.
Ship
.org.
guru.org.
Mhm.
Okay. Did I
It's a
put?
place to leave questions and comments there. I usually respond within 48 hours.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so that's in there. Thank you guys so much again for watching. Thank you so much for being with us, Davena. You guys, we can keep the conversation going in the chat even after this. Like if there's other questions, again, you know how to find her. If there's more questions that you have that you didn't think of, but get it spicy. It's time out to think everything is now. Oh, that's nasty. Well, I'm not putting that in my mind. Child, listen, whatever you and that person agree on and say it's okay, do that. Because get rid of
Yeah.
all the thoughts that you
Yeah.
maybe your parent told you that scared you out of it or whatever. Get rid of that and be free and have fun because it's a beautiful thing. And when you do it right, it's wonderful.
It
Okay.
is. It's beautiful. It's meant to be enjoyed.
It's meant to be enjoyed. Davena, don't go nowhere. Stay on here.
Okay.
But thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time. I love you guys so much. Bye.